What is Judaism's opinion when it comes to making lots and lots of money? I remember when I was a kid, there was a Orthodox religious man who lived around the corner from me. I wasn't religious at that time. I became more religious when I grew up. And he would swerve around the corner every day at the same time at 5 o'clock when I was playing hockey outside. And he would always drive by in a gorgeous, brand new black Cadillac. And I remember feeling a little grossed out, thinking to myself, you know, the guy is supposed to be Orthodox and Jewish, and yet he's there rolling around in a caddy. Who does the guy think he is? Doesn't that contradict with Judaism's approach to life? You know, live a meaningful life and a meager life, and, you know, isn't that a contradiction? The more and more I look into it, and by the way, I want to also throw this out there. I myself have always had an incredible lust, desire for money. Ever since I was a kid, I had this picture book, and I would put dollar bills and $5 bills and $10 bills and $20 bills inside of the picture book. Remember the old picture plastic books where you'd put your Kodak pictures in? I would put bills inside of it. And it's something that when I became more Orthodox, more observant, I pushed that desire to the side because I always felt that it was a contradiction to my Judaism. Recently, I called my rabbi and I shared with him how I felt about, you know, my desire to make money. And he told me something that you might not expect. He said that if you don't become rich, then it is a crime. He said, you have all the tools. You have the social media. You have the skills, you have the business knowledge, you have a great business behind you, and for you to just make what you need would be a crime. But I said to him, isn't it a contradiction? You know, Judaism is supposed to be completely spiritual. And he said to me completely the opposite. He said, the whole point of Judaism is to bring the spiritual into the physical, which means, he said, a very practical way that you could do that is by giving charity. He said to me, when you work and you give from your money, you are turning the physical money, all your blood, your sweat, and your tears, and your mind, and your time, and every email, every phone call, every text message, every conference, every trade show, everything that you do, when you give charity at least 10%, preferably closer to 20% from that, you are elevating every single action that you've done in order to earn that money, in order to become wealthy. Everything that you did, every step of the way became spiritual. That means your emails became spiritual. Your phone calls became spiritual. And he said that God gave you this desire in your heart to become wealthy, and he doesn't give it to everybody, which I thought my whole life that everybody wants to become wealthy. He said, no, it's not true. Some people have different desires. And if you have this desire, if God implanted within you that desire to become wealthy, you have a responsibility to hit that target. You have a responsibility to become the most successful person that you could be. He said nobody looks at a rabbi and says you should have a small synagogue. They say have the biggest synagogue possible. Nobody looks at a politician and say stay a small politician, stay a humble politician. They say no, go for the presidency. Go for the gusto. Go for the prize. So somewhere along the line in Jewish belief, there has become a crossing of wires where people think that it's not Jewish, not spiritual to desire wealth. It is. With wealth, you could help so many people. You could support institutions. You could help people that don't have. You could do great things with the money that you have. And it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something that is a contradiction to your spirituality. And it's not something that is coarse. It's not something that is the opposite of refined. As a matter of fact, he pointed me to a very famous story of a man named David Chase. Very, very wealthy man. And he owned a yacht. And whenever he would go on the yacht, he had a captain of his yacht who he would ask which way is east, because when Jews pray, we pray towards east, towards Jerusalem. And every time that he would go pray, he would ask him where's east. And eventually the yacht driver mustered up the courage and he asked, Mr. Chase, why do you keep on asking me which way's east? Are you looking maybe to become a captain of the yacht yourself? You know, he thought maybe he's interested in yachtship, whatever it is. And he answered him, no, I want to know which way is Jerusalem because it's time to pray. This left such a profound impact on the yacht captain because he said, if this is my boss and this is the most successful and wealthy person that I know, and to him, God is important, spirituality is important, and to know which way to pray every day is important, then maybe me as an atheist, I have to reevaluate my life and I have to see what are my priorities in life because this man clearly has it all figured out and maybe I should learn from him. This yacht driver who was not Jewish became obsessed with the notion of spirituality, and he himself grew tremendously. He ended up taking on the 7 Noahide laws himself, and every person that he came into contact with, he would tell this story over of his boss, who was so devoted to his spirituality that even in the middle of the ocean, he would ask, which way is east? And the lesson to us is that in our world, whether you like it or not, wealthy people are respected, and wealthy people have a responsibility. Wealthy people have a tremendous influence on our society, and people look up to them. And if you are a wealthy person, and you are a person of means, people will want to learn from you. People are more likely to listen to you. And when your values are in the right place, you're able to have an incredible influence on the world. Not to say that other people that are not wealthy don't have an influence on the world, but like I said, let's face it, our society puts a lot of value on people that are wealthy. So my rabbi pointed out all this to me, and he reaffirmed this desire that I have myself to become wealthy, and he showed me that there's absolutely no contradiction in my personal connection with God and in my personal spiritual journey. And there should be none in yours. So I give you a blessing that you should become wealthy. I give you a blessing that you should become a light onto everybody that you come into contact with, and use that to influence the people around you. If you like this video, please leave me a like, please leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, and if you like this video, you're going to love the one that's coming up next.